Hello and welcome to the channel, YouTube world. I am super excited. This is like a YouTube update to my channel, if you will, trying to take it up to the next notch. I've been doing well, miraculously, on YouTube. I don't know how, because the average views on my videos are complete. But per month, I'm pulling in enough that I was able to more than treat myself to this little combo package here. It cost me about $550 Canadian, so 400 US. I bought myself an audio interface. I know that it's glaring there, that's why the box is on an angle. And I got myself a Shure 55SH Series 2 microphone. I kind of call it the James Hetfield microphone. So, super excited about that. I'll just show you a quick little picture there. That's what it looks like. And I really think this is going to take my channel to the next level in terms of quality. A little while ago, I was using, well, my blue Snowball mic. I call it a blue ball because, I'm trying to be funny. And I made some big changes. I added an EQ, and that changed everything. It gave me like a fuller, richer sound. And it's because I'm using Bias Effects 2, which is a guitar effects processor for people that aren't familiar with that program. I can essentially sound like Metallica strumming one chord, which I got my guitar back, by the way. It was at Duluth here for 2 months. And then all of a sudden I can sound like an acoustic guitar. So when you look here, that's an EQ. You can even see like the patch chords. It's mimicking like the real pedals and everything that you would use with a guitar. But I decided, hey, why don't I use that for my my mic? I used to do this originally, but then I said, forget it. And then my friend Tyler, one of my best friends that I've known for about 30 years, he said, you should really try this. So he motivated me. He pushed me to do this. And he helped me with these settings here. Because I mess around with sound effects and stuff like that. And I try to do the silly, goofy Batman videos and all that. And I just have a lot of fun with those voice modulators and all that. So I've kind of done this before. I just didn't think it would work that well. And he's like a sound engineer. So he said, no, I'm telling you, give it a shot. Put these sliders here. And I think you're going to do well. And that made a difference. Like I got some comments, or more comments as of late than I have before. But this is my real voice, what you're hearing. Like if you met me in person, this is what I sound like. This isn't like fake or anything. It's just slightly, EQ'd. Anyways, I'm using those same settings now on this microphone. And one of the biggest changes is the fact that you're not going to hear nearly as much background noise. And that's because I'm using what's called a dynamic microphone and not a condenser mic. So this one, I had to crank the gain on it big time for my volume to be respectable. That's just the way it is. And I'm just absolutely having a blast. So I think now my voice and all that is a lot better for 3 reasons. I simply have a higher end microphone. So that's 1. 2, we can argue because I went from a USB microphone to an XLR. Maybe that did it. Again, there's a lot of, are they audiophiles? People that just really know their shit. That will argue both sides, that XLR versus USB doesn't make a difference because Yetis are great microphones. I could have gotten a Yeti, but I decided to do something different because I also do play guitar, like I said, and I can plug in a guitar into this audio interface. This is essentially, this thing here, this is now my sound card. This literally is my sound card. It's basically an external portable sound card, and it's powered by USB. So when I record PC games, if I'm playing World of Warcraft, if I'm playing Generation Zero, if I'm playing my PlayStation 4 and I'm playing The Last of Us Part 2, or I'm playing my Nintendo, it all goes through my capture card, which goes through the computer for me to record through OBS, but my sound is all coming from there. And it even has a knob on right over here. So instead of using like my Windows slider or my keyboard to like increase the volume, I can just use this knob, right? And then the red one, that's for like if I'm playing guitar. Whoops. And the green one, that's for my my microphone, and that's the XLR input. So if I wanted to make my microphone louder right now, I don't need to increase the decibels. I can literally just turn the knob and it pulses green like this. So my knob is pulsating right now, but it's green. Generally, that wouldn't be a good sign if your knob is green. I'm trying to be funny here, work with me. But in this instance, it's good. You don't want it to go yellow or red because then it's clipping. Get it? Your knob and clipping just shouldn't go in the same sentence. But in all seriousness, you don't want your sound to clip because that's when you get like some distortions and stuff like that. So for anybody who's ever followed me, this is, like I said, a huge thing. This was never meant to be a review. This was just a almost like vlog, if you will, and give my general first impression on some piece of equipment that I've purchased. And it's also to do with my YouTube channel because, like I've said before, since the dawn of time, even though I've been on YouTube since day one, about 15, 16 years, however long it's been around, I've actually only been active, actually doing shit for about a year and a half. I actually celebrate almost to the day right now 1 year being monetized on YouTube. So, because it took me about 6 months to get monetized. If any of you follow me and remember me, I started my journey, if you will, around the Red Dead Redemption 2 console release. Like when that came out, I had like 13 subscribers. Okay, like that's where, I started. So, yes, I do have a few videos from 2008, 2006, but it was like a one off. There's like no video tags. I don't even think one of my videos even has a microphone or something like that. Like it was so terrible. Anyhow, I figured it's been a year. I figured I'm doing well. Again, I'm not trying to be conceited or flex here. I'm doing a lot better than I ever thought I could on my channel. Like I'm just blown away now when I average like 1,000+ subs a month, 250,000 views a month, sort of on average-ish. To me, it just blows me away. So I was like, what is going on? So I was like, well, while it's still happening, before my channel goes down the toilet, I'm thinking, let me take 1 month's worth of YouTube revenue that I've earned and let me just all plop it in here. So I still have some left over. Just saying. It was a good month in May because we get paid 3 weeks after, right? So once May is over, like on YouTube, you don't get paid like May 31st or June the 1st. It takes them 3 weeks or so for them to go through everybody around the world and then they pay you. So now we're the 27th of June. So literally a week ago, I got paid for what I did in May. So I was able to treat myself to this. And I know that most of my watchers are American for the most part. I know there's a few from Africa and a few from Europe and China, but those are one-offs. Predominantly, most people will understand U.S. currencies. So this was 550 Canadian, which translates to 400 US. It was a lot of money, but I think it's worth it. Like I said, I have already recorded a few quick audio clips, played them back, noticed the lack of, like that fan is blowing. Like, wow, is it ever loud? But I'm confident that you'll barely be able to hear it. And if you do, it won't be nearly as distracting as all my other videos. Since the dawn of time, like I said, that I've been on YouTube uploading, it's always been with my blue ball, my Snowball from Blue. This is the first video on my channel that I'm hoping is going to take it to the next level in terms of quality fidelity, if you understand what I'm saying, because I'm also trying to take this extremely seriously, which I think anybody who even remotely knows me this much will know that I do. I treat this like a job, but I enjoy it. It's a passion. Like I love just doing this right now. So I figured I'd put a little bit back into it, right? The webcam, it's a Logitech C920. I mean, I bought that a long, long time ago, like 5 years ago, when I was, again, going to record on YouTube, and I never did. I just never bothered because I didn't think I'd be able to generate any type of buzz. But it's a decent webcam. It's not the best. I don't need a 4K. Trust me, you don't need to see the wrinkles. And, well, I actually don't have any. I have a pretty smooth skin for a 40-something-year-old. But I figured my webcam was pretty decent. You know, it's a cloudy day, and if I open the window, see how lighting can make a big difference? just closing my blackout curtains, we can see a huge difference in like the exposure, right? And that's a type of quality, if you will, for the video. But I think I would argue with you, and I would hope you would agree with me. Someone can have like a bit of a shitty webcam. It's a little grainy, but if they sound rich, they sound good. There's no crackling. That's hard on the ears. And if someone sounds a bit Howard Stern like, podcast like is what I mean by that, I think that can go a long way. Whereas if I'm a bit blurry, it's not like it's going to be hard on your eyes. I'm not that much to look at to begin with anyways, so that shouldn't even really matter. I thought this mattered most over what you see. I can't think of a camera that would be better than a Logitech C920 in conjunction to how I went from a USB 50, 30 US dollar microphone to this thing, right? Like in that jump that I just made. Is there a webcam I could get that would be that much better? Plus, most of the time I'm doing this anyways, where I'm playing a game and it's predominantly the screen. I don't do a lot of this stuff here. I want to, and I might now. I got my guitar back. Kind of looks cool, but the lighting is, anyways, it's bouncing off the headstock, and I've got the microphone here. I'm just blown away, like I said. I really hope that this helps, and I'm excited to do my first gameplay video with this, but not as much, because this is now my first official video with like what I call a real setup. So to recap before I end the video, because I don't want to make this too long. I know that I can ramble on forever. This is actually take 2, by the way. My last video was like 45 minutes, okay? So just be lucky. To recap, I went from a USB condenser microphone and I went to an XLR dynamic microphone. And this was never meant to be a review. It was just, like I said, like a vlog, just my general first impressions of making that switch for the sake of my YouTube channel, right? And the XLR versus like USB thing, I just don't know enough about that world to comment. Though generally the word on the street is that XLR is better. It's okay. You can do more. Because I have an audio interface, got all the fancy little stuff, you can't really do that with the USB microphone. So maybe that's part of the reason why it could be better again. The fact that it's dynamic versus condenser, again, dynamic is better for me, for my environment, because I got too much stuff going on in the background. Like there's a lot of noise going on right now, and I'm so proud to know that you're probably going to be barely able to notice it. That's huge. That's the dynamic part. And that's pretty much it. And the third thing is just the fact that it's just a more expensive microphone. So whether it's XLR or not, I could have gone to a Yeti over a Snowball, and that might have made a difference because of how many capsules are inside or all that fancy stuff. I'm not booth junkie. I might leave a link down in the description to his channel because I just think he's an absolute amazing YouTuber. He just talks about microphones. And no offense, that doesn't really appeal to me because I always knew the microphone that I wanted to get. I pretty much call this the James Hetfield microphone. I forget if I mentioned that at the beginning of the video, but it's a similar microphone to what he uses. But that's about the only similarities there. I can't sing like him. I wish I could, but I can't. I could play the guitar like him. I just can't sing like him. So whatever. One thing's better than nothing. So yeah, Booth Junkie's really good. I just don't watch too many of his videos because I don't need to, no offense. But when I was looking to educate myself on the whole like condenser with the versus dynamic and top addressed microphone, front addressed or side addressed microphones or whatever, I was just like, huh? So I would go look it up, and he would normally be there. He sits or stands in a booth and puts on the earmuffs. I can't stand the earmuffs. That's why I do the earbud thing, right? I already have big satellite ears. I don't need to add on top of that, although it might hide them, but that's okay. They're out. They're out for the show and tell. The only add-on I had to do was because it's got a 1/8 jack, or is it a quarter? No, it's a 1/8. No, it's a 1/4 inch jack. The bloody old input, like, you know, the guitar jack or like those old headphones with the big pin. A 1/4 inch. Whatever. The big frickin' hole. That shows you how much I know about sound. Right there. That hole is the same as this one here. So I couldn't just put in my headphones directly into it, right? So I had to use an adapter. A 1/4 inch to 1/8 or whatever. I don't know. The big to small hole. That's all I can tell you. So that I can plug in like an iPod or regular smartphone headphone into the bloody thing. So that I can play back. Because like I said, I've got the monitor slider volume knob thingy. I'm starting to lose my thought now. This is what happens when you have ADHD. Most people's brains, their thought goes like this, for real. And you can keep up with them. Mine go like this, and then they go like that, and they go like this, and they go all over the place. I can't keep up. That's why I can't do a script. That's why everything I do is right off the top of my head. And I'm sure there's a lot of people that don't have ADHD that do that. I'm just sharing with you that I could never do that. I don't have any organizational skills whatsoever. That's why I try to make sure that my videos aren't too long so I don't start repeating myself, right? Because a half hour in, I might start going, did I already mention that? But it's not because I have bad memory. It's because sometimes I do a second take. It's very rare. Like this is my second take. And I don't remember between the two takes what I said on which one. So yeah, that's where it gets really confusing. So I think I'm going to leave it here. Like I said, this was just meant to be sort of like a YouTube update to my channel because I think that this is a big deal. You know, like the quality of your equipment, it kind of goes a long way when you got half decent lighting, half decent camera, a proper semi-professional setup. It can make a difference, right? So I'm going to leave it there. If you like the video, go ahead, give it a thumbs up. You didn't like the video, go ahead, give it a thumbs down. And I'll make sure the next time you go on YouTube and you click on somebody else, right behind your head, you get this thing bonked right in the noggin. Believe me, this thing is like the front grille of like a Chevy 57 Bel Air or something. It's crazy. I feel like I'm holding a crowbar, especially with like the arm for the boomstick, the boom stand, whatever it's called. Oh, it'll go boom all right. Anyhow, if you want to subscribe to the channel, obviously that would be great. But if not, thanks for stopping by anyways. Take care, boys and girls, or whatever it is you identify as. And as always, hopefully I'll see at least some of you in the next video. I want to try to recuperate some of this money. You know what I'm saying? Until next time.